All right, welcome to the show, y'all. It's the Kyle Kulinski Show on the Secular Talk YouTube channel. I am Kyle Kulinski. I hope y'all are having a good day. I got a lot of stuff to get to, man. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is finally telling the full truth about Trump, and their war between each other has now gone nuclear. Wait until I show you the updates. Marjorie went on 60 Minutes and spilled all the tea that she has on him. So we'll talk about that. We also have Nick Fuentes shocking everybody and explaining Trump's master plan and about how Trump and the billionaires are looting D.C. right in front of our faces. So there's a lot to say about that. We also have Tim Dillon. Did Tim Dillon finally turn on Trump once and for all? I will pose that question to you guys. We got some amazing clips that came out of his recent podcast. We also have a bunch of MAGA hosts are ripping each other to shreds and turning on each other and accusing each other of being closet gays. And it is getting messy. It is getting sloppy. It is driven by Milo Yiannopoulos, which is probably no surprise to anybody because that guy is just packed full of drama. I've never seen a bigger drama queen than Milo Yiannopoulos. And then later on, Sydney Sweeney completely flops at the box office. And now she's in damage control mode. And she's, basically effectively apologizing for going full MAGA and full right-wing hack because now her career hangs in the balance. And then also a smitten Joe Rogan gushes over Trump, calling him on the phone like he's a giddy teenager who's talking to his first crush. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not kidding. Joe has fallen so far from grace, if I don't say so myself. So you guys know the drill. Everybody please do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you absolutely nothing at all. You can also support the show on Patreon. Just $2 a month goes a long way, man. As you guys know, this is real independent media, not just online media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I've never done an ad read. I've never talked to a billionaire or a PAC or a government or anything like that. This is true grassroots media, and you guys have made that possible. So thank you to everybody who has donated on Patreon. And again, if you'd like to, the link is below. You can also tip with that thanks button on YouTube, as well as sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That's always, some great stuff over there. I believe we have on Cam Caskey this week, who's running in the busiest district in the country for Congress, and he's the man. Can't wait to talk to him. And, of course, also go sub to Corn's World, where we do live Kyle and Corn episodes every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We should be going live tonight, so everybody come hang out with us. It's always a blast. It's always a lot more laid back than this show is. And, look, we've been going long lately. We've been going 3.5 hours, 4 hours, so you will get quite a bit of time with us. So come hang out with us tonight on the Corn's World YouTube channel. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in, y'all. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump have really been going at it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe the straw that broke the camel's back was when Marjorie Taylor Greene finally stood up on the issue of the Epstein files and was like, okay, this is total bullshit. What the fuck are you hiding? And then Trump, of course, fired back because Trump is the type of person where even if you have like a 2% disagreement with him, in his mind, it becomes you're a complete enemy and I'm going to destroy you. This has been his MO forever. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to straddle that line of like, look, I want to criticize you on certain issues. I want to criticize you on Israel. I want to criticize you on the Epstein files. I want to criticize you on healthcare policy. But my voting record is literally over 95% of the time with you, so I still support you. I'm still on your side, and I'm still going to basically say positive things about you. Well, Trump said, fuck that. I'm done with that. And he, of course, tweeted about her, called her Marjorie Trader Greene was one. But then he also went with Marjorie Taylor Brown, and I believe Marjorie Trader Brown. And, of course, the idea behind that, and he literally had to write this out. This is how embarrassing this is and how much he's lost a step. But he literally had to tweet, brown is what grass turns when it goes bad. That's why her name is Marjorie Taylor Brown, not Green. I mean, you want to talk about washed. Homie is Celtics, Shaq, and then some. That's what Trump has now turned into. Crazy to see. Well, anyway, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's getting the last laugh here because she decided, well, how about I go on 60 Minutes and spill all the tea and tell everybody what you're really about. And, man, we got some juicy moments, so let's take a look.
It was completely unforeseen, a shocker. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. The warrior congresswoman so dogged and fierce, leaving the field of battle, her alliance with President Trump shattered. Her video resignation statement last month that she'll be leaving Congress a year before her term expires came after President Trump said he would throw his support to someone else for her seat. She became famous, some would say infamous, with her incendiary insults and belief in conspiracy theories, such as 9/11 was an inside job, and that the shooting at the...
Wait, did she? Did she spread that one? Did I miss this? I guess I may have missed this because I didn't know that. Did you guys know that about her? I hadn't seen that, but if that's true, holy cow. So she's been flying close to the sun for a long time. If she's been advocating for that one.
The Parkland School in Florida was staged.
What? She spread that one too? I did not know that. What?
Time the president had no more ardent defender. But things soured over Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender accused of trafficking girls as young as 14. Does Greene's defection signal a split in MAGA? Is she leaving politics for good? And exactly why is she leaving?
It wasn't a decision that I came to lightly, but it was a very important decision for myself and also for my family.
It was sudden.
It was sudden, but a lot of things changed. I stood for women who were raped when they were 14 years old, and the president that I fought for 5 years called me a traitor for that. Ooh. And so that changed the landscape of things.
You're going to notice something in this interview. The sense I got was it's just like body blow, body blow, body blow to Trump. It is just, look, it's a bad look when your biggest ride or dies are the ones who eventually are like, you know what? Fuck this guy. And that's where he's at. That's what's happening.
Ask you straight out. Mm-hmm. Did you surrender? Did Donald Trump run you out of town?
Ooh, no. That's actually a great question.
No, not at all. Actually, Leslie, it's more like this, is I said in my statement, I will be no one's battered wife, and I meant it. And I won't allow the system to abuse me anymore.
You really feel abused. You know, he did come after you pretty hard. He called you a lunatic, I'm quoting. He said all she does is complain, complain, complain in caps, and then he called you a traitor.
Which, by the way, can we just state for the record, Trump breaks out like the old school 1940s style racism and misogyny. He's been doing it a lot lately with the quiet piggy, and the, what are you, stupid? Are you a stupid person? So we had those moments. We, of course, had the classic Somalia moment. I don't want them in the country. They should get out of the country. They should go back to their country. It's a shithole country. We had that, too. And now you have about a female congresswoman. All she does is complain, bitch, all day long. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Holy shit. Is part of your Alzheimer's that your brain transfers you back to 1947? Because this is like that old school bigotry, man. He also does this. He does this with AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. He'll always say, like, low IQ congresspeople, and then he'll describe the low IQ-ness in order of how dark their skin is. It's like, dude, this is so not subtle. You traded in the dog whistle for a fucking foghorn, and everybody sees it.
So he hit you, whacked you.
Yes, he did this in the same time span where President Trump brought in the al-Qaeda leader that was wanted by the U.S. government, who is now the president of Syria.
This actually low-key pisses me off, because why am I watching Marjorie Taylor Greene make better anti-Trump arguments than Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer or a lot of the Democrats? Why is that the case? She's making better arguments than like 90% of the Democrats. And that's a fucking crazy thing because, like I said, she votes with Trump over 95% of the time. She is not an ally by any stretch of the imagination. She is an enemy, for sure. Don't get it twisted. But why does she have to be the one to bring up, holy shit, you brought an al-Qaeda leader into the White House? What is this? By the way, he also pardoned somebody, CZ, who laundered money for al-Qaeda. I wish I was kidding. I'm not kidding. Why is it that she has to be the one to bring these points up? Shouldn't you be bringing them up, Democrats? Oh my God, this is actually sort of triggering me.
Week, he brought in the Crown Prince, MBS, who murdered an American journalist. Oh. And then he brought in the newly elected Democrat socialist mayor of New York. That was the time span.
I love how she equates. We got a murderer, we got a terrorist, and we got a democratic socialist. One of these things is not like the other, Marjorie. We got a really good person who wants to improve stuff, and we got two really horrible people who commit crimes. Jesus, what the fuck? Talk about, like, brainwashed on this stuff. Holy shit.
You decided not to stay and fight. You decided to give in.
After President Trump called me a traitor, I got a pipe bomb threat on my house, and then I got several direct death threats on my son.
On your son?
On my son.
You say the president put your life in danger. You blame him. You say he fueled a hotbed of threats against me, and that you blame him for the threats against your son.
The subject line for the direct death threats on my son was his words, Marjorie Trader Greene.
Oh.
Those are death threats directly fueled by President Trump. I told him, I told J.D. Vance, I told them all, sent those directly to them.
Response?
J.D. Vance replied back to me, we'll look into it. I got response back from President Trump that I will keep private, but it wasn't very nice.
Give us a hint of what the president said.
It was extremely unkind.
Oh, man. What a loathsome scumbag. He calls her Marjorie Trader Green. He lashes out. It leads to his psychotic-ass low IQ followers threatening to murder her son. She shares that with him, and he's like, I don't care. Fuck you and your son. By the way, this is how he acts. He acts like a mafia boss. He acts like a legislative terrorist. That's what he does. And so if you step out of line, I'm just going to ruin your fucking life and try to force you to get back in line. And that's why you see so many of these bitch-ass, weak-ass Republicans always fall back in line. They always fall back in line because they're scared. Which is kind of embarrassing. We got a fucking bloated, pervert, pedophile, war criminal, Epstein's best friend, soft as Charmin, and you, because this guy tweets some angry things about you, you fall in line. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Listen, I'm an internet guy myself. I was raised on the internet. I've been on the internet. I've been doing this job full time since 2012. You are begging for people to hate you if you do political content. Half the country wants to see you fucking dead, right? I get threats all the time. I don't give a fuck. I'm still out here running my mouth. I'm still out here telling the truth. These fucking idiot Republicans don't disagree with Trump because, God forbid, they utter a peep of disagreement. Then they look at their Twitter mentions and people are being mean to me. They're calling me bad names, mama. Who cares? Grow the fuck up. Stand up for what's right, for what matters, for policies that actually improve the lives of Americans, but you can't do it. You can't do it because you're fucking hollow, you're vapid, you're vacuous, and all you care about is careerism and continuing to get elected, and you want to suck up to the disgusting freak president in order to do that.
Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Trader Green. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
4 more years.
This new intense vitriol between them is jarring, considering she's been one of the president's most passionate and loyal foot soldiers, often in a red MAGA hat. She voted with him 98% of the time.
98% of the time she voted with him. 98. And the big high-profile disagreement was, I'm against protecting the CEO of Elite Pedophile Sex Crimes Incorporated. And he was like, that's it, excommunicated. That speaks volumes, dog.
We're going to re-elect our favorite president, the greatest president in United States history, Donald J. Trump. Right, Georgia?
One of the president's biggest beefs with Green was about her harping on Jeffrey Epstein.
We did talk about the Epstein files, and he was extremely angry at me that I had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people.
One admission. Trump says releasing the Epstein files is going to hurt people. You know who he's talking about? His billionaire pervert donors. That's who he's talking about. His billionaire pervert donors and his rich Mar-a-Lago members. That's who it's going to hurt. Also himself, obviously, because he's in Epstein emails. There were 23,000 Epstein emails. He was referenced over 1,000 times, which was more than anybody else was referenced. So that's who he's really protecting. His ass and his billionaire donors who he wants to rule the country in perpetuity. He wants you to be a slave peasant to the billionaire class, knowing that they're all disgusting pedophile perverts.
I had asked him, these women are the ones that were hurt. They were raped at 14. They were raped at 16. I watched them stand in front of the press trembling, their bodies shaking as they were telling their stories, many of them for the first time. And I had told him, I said, you know, you have all kinds of people come in the White House. Have these women come in the White House. These women deserve to be heard.
He said to you, people will get hurt.
People will get hurt. I don't know what that means. I don't know who they are.
Yeah, notice how he unhumans the victims. He unhumans the 14-year-old women who were sexually assaulted and raped. People will get hurt. Yeah, people like who? Like who? Again, stop and think about it. It's so telling about who Trump is. I always made this point about Trump, that if anything, you know how he did the whole thing like he hated Hillary Clinton in 2016? I always made the point, no, he's jealous of Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton gets that elite establishment adoration and support. And so he always wanted that. And this is further evidence of it. I'm going to protect all the Epstein, Fredophile billionaires because I want their love. I want their support. I am an elite. He doesn't fucking, You think he sees himself in the blue collar working class person working 2 jobs in order to just pay the fucking bills and make sure there's food on the table for the kids? He doesn't see himself in those people. He views you as suckers.
There were other clashes with the president. She started publicly criticizing him in May on one issue after the next, accusing him of betraying his MAGA America First promises. You went after his, I think you said, trying to entangle us in foreign wars. You said Air Force One should be parked, no more foreign trips.
For an America First president, the number one focus should have been domestic policy, and it wasn't. And so, of course, I was critical because those were my campaign promises. Once we fix everything here, then fine, we'll talk to the rest of the world.
Let me just point out, she's actually not right about this. They did focus first and foremost on domestic policy. And they absolutely destroyed the economy with their shitty ideas. So it's not that, they didn't focus on it. They did, and they made everything worse. They passed the big bullshit bill, which we've talked about 1,000 times, but it adds $4 trillion to the debt and the deficit. It cuts taxes on the rich while raising it on the working class. It cuts Medicaid by $800 billion, kicking 17 million people off their health care, raising out-of-pocket costs, reducing coverage for poor and disabled people. It cuts $3 million off food stamps, the SNAP program. It cuts free lunch in schools. It kicks millions off of Obamacare subsidies. It cuts Medicare because it violates PAYGO and leads to a sequester in Medicare. It kills wind projects and solar projects, which would have created a lot of jobs. It increases pollution, increases oil and gas drilling, defunds Planned Parenthood, and the list goes on and on. I mean, the bill was colossal. It also creates a domestic martial law police state where ICE is more fully funded than most militaries around the fucking world. So Trump is super funding his Gestapo. And so they did focus on domestic policy. In this bill, they do billions of dollars to the Golden Dome, which is just a military-industrial complex scam, where you just give a shitload of money to, I forget which contractor it is, but like Raytheon or Honeywell or whichever one it is, Lockheed Martin. You give billions and billions to them so he builds the Golden Dome, which is supposed to protect from like missiles attacking us. It's just a big slush fund, a big giveaway, letting the military-industrial complex loot the fucking treasury while people fucking starve. That's what it is. And so they did focus on domestic policy. They did. And it was horrible that they did, because it's give everything to the billionaires and screw the working class over and over. And by the way, I didn't actually look this up before the segment, but I'd venture to guess that Marjorie Taylor Greene voted for the big bullshit bill. She voted for it, which means she helped the billionaires pillage and loot this country, and she helped screw over the working class. So that's why I say, even after all this, she's not an ally. Don't get it twisted.
You said Air Force One should be parked, no more foreign trips.
For an America First president, the number one focus should have been domestic policy, and it wasn't. And so, of course, I was critical because those were my campaign promises. Once we fix everything here, then fine, we'll talk to the rest of the world.
She said in her resignation video that the president has gone establishment, forsaking the base and her.
If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class...
Are you saying that the president now is siding with those establishment powerful people and against MAGA?
He passed a crypto bill that helped out all the crypto donors. He has served Israel's interest, even attacking Iran. He has served Big Pharma. He didn't take away the COVID vaccines that we want to see taken away. So those are the areas that are still getting everything they want, while the people, we're still out here saying we want to see action on areas for the American people, not for the major industries and the big donors.
Greene has built her reputation on feisty combat and inflammatory insults, like calling President Joe Biden a liar during the 2023 State of the Union. It's been 5 years of almost constant drama.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing. Hold on.
With her adding fuel to the nation's loss of civility. Then, 3 weeks ago, she went on CNN with a surprise, a mea culpa.
And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics.
But it became clear to us that she hasn't entirely lost her appetite for combat.
It's the most toxic political culture, and it's not helping the American people.
But you contributed to that. You were out there pounding, insulting people.
Leslie, you've contributed to it as well with your
Me?
own program. Yes, you're accusatory, just like you did just then.
I know you're accusing me, but I'm smiling.
You're accusing me.
I am accusing
But we
you.
don't have to accuse one another.
I want you to respond to what you have done in terms of insulting people, yelling at people, and then saying...
I'd like for you to respond for that.
I don't...
No, you can respond to that.
I don't insult people.
You do in the way you question, and you're accusing me right now.
See, this is like she's trying to rebrand, but she's still got that in her. You know what I'm saying? On the one hand, she'll go on CNN and say, oh, I apologize, I contributed to this. But then when she's actually like pressed on it, she's like, how dare you? You've contributed to it. It's like, hold the L or don't hold the L. Like, what is this weird fucking middle ground? Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I added to it. But then when asked to describe like how you added to it and what was wrong with it, stop it. It's a rebrand. She wants to run for higher office. That's what I'm getting out of this.
One thing she did want to talk about, Congress's failure to pass spending bills, meaning that she has found it hard to get funds for projects in her district.
It's an utter failure, not just to the people in my district, but every district across the country.
We met Green, 51, in her district in Georgia. Before Congress, she ran her family's construction company, then opened up her own CrossFit gym.
Affordability is a real issue.
President says it's not. Says it's a hoax, affordability.
It's one of the top issues, not only in my district, it's across the country.
The affordability of health insurance caused Green to side with the Democrats during the government shutdown to support extending health care subsidies. Did you ever imagine that you would be standing with the Democrats on the Epstein files and on health care subsidies?
No, I never imagined that.
She's not afraid to be an outlier. She's the only Republican member of Congress to call the war in Gaza a genocide. And why did you vote against the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act?
Since I've been a member of Congress, we've had several resolutions that constantly denounce anti-Semitism. I've already voted denouncing anti-Semitism many times before. It becomes an exercise that they force on Congress, and I simply got tired of it.
Is there no value in having the United States Congress reaffirm the fact that they denounce anti-Semitism in the face of a growing issue, a growing problem?
We don't have to get on our knees and say it over and over again when we
Get on our knees?
Yes, we do not have to get on our knees.
Well, most members of Congress disagree with you.
Well, most members of Congress take donations from AIPAC, and I don't.
Now, by the way, that answer was actually a bad answer because the real response is they redefined anti-Semitism to include anti-Zionism. So, like, in other words, they're now just lying about what constitutes anti-Semitism. They're trying to make it so that criticism of Israel is by definition anti-Semitic. That is insane. That tries to shut down all legitimate and reasonable criticism of a fucking ethno-state doing a genocide and an ethnic cleansing. That's the real response. If you were to ask me to vote against anti-Semitism, like actual anti-Semitism, of course I'd vote to condemn that all day, every time you bring it up. That's not the issue. The issue is they broaden the definition to include things that are not at all anti-Semitic because they're trying to shut up any criticism of wanton murder of innocent children. Okay? That's what it is. So she didn't really handle that answer well, but I don't know what you'd expect from somebody who, remember the whole Jewish space lasers thing in the past? Like, she's had moments where it's like, ugh, that might actually be anti-Semitism, and so she wasn't able to give the correct response there.
Is an American pro-Israel lobbying group. Green's perspective indicates a growing rift within MAGA over support for Israel.
See, now, I kind of resent this framing because they make it seem like the bigger rift on Israel is in the Republican Party when it's not at all. The bigger rift on Israel is in the Democratic Party, where the overwhelming majority of the Democratic-based voters are like, we are fucking done with Israel. They're doing a genocide. Fuck them. Cut off the money. Cut off the weapons. Arrest Netanyahu. You have a much bigger block of Democratic congresspeople. What is it, like 20 to 30, somewhere in that range, that are literally voted, maybe even up to 40, that voted to officially declare what Israel is doing a genocide in Gaza. 0 Republicans signed on to that. She may have called it a genocide colloquially, but when asked to put fucking pen to paper, name on it, I'm voting to declare this a genocide, she was nowhere to be found. And so they pretend like, oh, there's this big rift on the Republican side when it comes to Israel and Gaza. There's really not. If you look at the polling data on it, something like 70 to 80% of Republican voters still support Israel over Palestine. They still do. Yes, there's a rift among young Republicans, but even there, it's still like 55% or something like that pro-Israel. So I don't like this because it's almost like stolen valor to the right, pretending like they're the more anti-establishment ones and they're the more anti-genocide ones. When the numbers are fucking crystal clear, it's the opposite of that. The Democratic base voters and some left-wing Democratic politicians, we are the actual vanguard of fucking anti-genocide politics, and she's somehow getting the fucking credit because she's fighting the bloated pedophile president.
I am America first.
And that's not the same as MAGA.
MAGA is President Trump's phrase. That's his political policies. I call myself America first.
But you're not saying you're MAGA.
I'm America first. Yep.
God bless you, President Trump. Thank
Almost overnight, she's gone from a close Trump friend to foe, one of the few Republicans willing to take him on. I'm going to ask you about this almost solid support he has among Republicans in Congress. Is there in that support fear? Does the support come about because they're afraid that they'll get death threats?
I think they're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
Yep.
And they're watching what happened to you.
Yes.
Yep.
Behind the scenes, do they talk differently?
Yes.
How?
Oh, it would shock people.
Well, let's shock people.
Okay. I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks, making fun of me constantly for supporting him, to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Leslie, kissing his ass and decided to put on a MAGA hat for the first time.
Yeah, they fucking hate him. They hate him. They hate that their fucking political future, their whole career is tied to this man. They hate that they can't dissent even 1%. They think he's a fucking idiot. They hate him. But what does that make them if they're too weak and too much of a fucking cowardly bitch to speak up, when knowing who this guy really is? And honestly, it speaks even worse of them than it does of him.
This past week, when we saw Green at a public hearing in her district without a MAGA hat, it didn't appear that her break from President Trump and MAGA has cost her popularity.
Look at that. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the many reasons why Trump is at 35% approval rating. He's lost fucking everybody. Everybody except the dumbest, lowest IQ people in the country who have no fucking idea what's going on, and they're in a death cult.
People want to know, is this a true conversion, a true change of heart, or is it kind of a shrewd political calculation?
I mean, it could be both, right? Like, it could be both. It could be both political calculation, but it's also like, now I'm going to start telling people a little bit more of what I really think. Could be both.
A lot of people think you're doing it and that you, in a year or so, are going to run for some other office.
I have zero plans, zero desire to run for president. I would hate the Senate. I'm not running for governor. But Leslie, it doesn't matter how many times I say it. I'll have face-to-face conversations with people, and I'll flat out tell them to their face, and they won't believe me. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. And then wink at me, and I'm like, okay. It's just like, I don't know how to make it more clear.
So I wonder if she's going to try, if she is telling the truth, I wonder if she's going to try to get into media.
Just jumped off the cliff, and you don't know where you're going to swim to.
Surprise, surprise, I'm not your politician with a whole itinerary of plans or political ambitions.
All right, so there you have it, but guess what? It got even spicier once that dropped. So let me show you this. Trump tweets the following after watching. This guy, he's one of those people, he's literally the antithesis of me. I never name search myself on Twitter. Never in a million years have I typed my name into a Google search bar or typed my name into Twitter to see what people are saying about me. I actively avoid the fuck out of that, because what's the point? Even if it's 99% positive things and 1% negative, your brain is going to naturally hone in on the negative and be like, well, fuck this person. And that's not fucking true, right? I've seen many a good people lose their minds by being far too online and reading far too much about themselves, reading what other people say about them. So I've learned the lesson, just out of sight, out of mind is literally factually true. Like, I have no idea what people are saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm still fucking over here, minding my goddamn business, living my best life, right? Trump is the opposite. He looks for everything anybody has ever said about him on a daily basis. In fact, there are stories of his team bringing him, like, every single reference to him in a newspaper or in a story every day. That, like, the only way you could get him to be interested is if it's about himself. If it's not about himself, you have to put in, like, total bite-sized little Cliff Note version, or he just tunes out, right? Well, he clearly watched the 60-minute segment, so he comes out and says, the only reason Marjorie Trader Brown, and then in parentheses, Green turns to brown under stress. Oh my God, bro, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen. Went bad is that she was jilted by the President of the United States. Certainly not the first time she's been jilted. Too much work, not enough time, and her ideas are now really bad. This is so low IQ. She sort of reminds me of a rotten apple. Marjorie is not America First or MAGA because nobody could have changed her views so fast. And her new views are those of a very dumb person. That was proven last night when washed-up, Trump-hating 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stahl, who still owes me an apology from when she attacked me on the show, with serious conviction that Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was produced by Russia, not Hunter himself. Totally proven wrong. Interviewed a very poorly prepared traitor who in her confusion made many really stupid statements. My real problem with the show, however, wasn't the low IQ traitor. It was the new ownership of 60 Minutes, Paramount, would allow a show like this to air. See, and so now he's bullying them. This is him bullying Barry Weiss, bullying the Ellisons, being like, well, hold on, you guys are supposed to suck me off now. You're supposed to never criticize Israel and never criticize me. They are no better than the old ownership who just paid me millions of dollars for fake reporting about your favorite president, me. Since they bought it, 60 Minutes has actually gotten worse. Oh well, far worse things can happen. P.S. I hereby demand a complete and total apology, though far too late to be meaningful, from Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes for her incorrect and libelous statements about Hunter Biden's laptop. So in other words, I'm going to sue CBS again. I'm going to shake them down again. Hey, media idiots, how does it feel that you all you jackasses bent the knee, paid him fucking bribes effectively to try to get him off your ass, and then now immediately he's like, you didn't completely worship at the altar of me, King Joffrey, so now I'm going to sue you again. I'm going to come and take your money again. The media should be ashamed of itself. Ashamed. And I guarantee you, somewhere in the country, Barry Weiss is screaming at Leslie Stahl on her cell phone. Like, that's 100% what's happening because, how dare you? You fucking brought heat on us. We just bought this. Everything was going so well, and you did a hit job. Unbelievable. There is no appeasing this man. There's no appeasing him. So, now, by the way, when you read this, immediately you should be thinking, this guy is insanely washed. Because, like, God, they need to bring back the character limit on Twitter. When you got rid of that character limit and he just fucking babbles on and on, it's like, halfway through this, I wanted to take a nap. Like, what is this? This is so, it's lacking in concision. It's lacking that punch that the old statements used to have. So now he just seems like, holy shit, put grandpa down for his nap and give him his Seroquel, right? Like, that's what I feel when I read this. But Marjorie Taylor Greene sees this and she responds in a smart way, which keeps the fucking brevity. And she says this, ready? I am America First. Thank you for your attention to this matter, MTG. And then it shows the track AIPAC thing. She's taken no money from AIPAC. Trump has taken $230.5 million. So that is, I mean, see, like, it feels like the way Marjorie Taylor Greene responded to Trump here is the way Trump would have responded to, like, Jeb Bush or Ted Cruz back in the day in, like, 2016. Like, she got the better of this exchange for sure. And he's just like a whiny, petulant little baby. So anyway, there you have it. Give me my fucking popcorn. I am thoroughly enjoying the right tearing itself apart. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.